Hi, welcome. In Power BI, a common source of confusion is the difference between the canvas background and the wallpaper areas on a report page. These two properties control two distinct areas of your report. Understanding their separate functions is important in report design, especially when reports are consumed on various screen sizes. In this video, I'll explain each area, demonstrate how they work together, and discuss the page and report level impacts of changes to these areas. First, let's focus on the canvas background. Here I have a blank page in a Power BI report, and notice the dotted lines on the page, which help identify boundaries. Note the dotted lines only show up in the editing view. The end users do not see them. And inside these dotted lines is the canvas area, or report page as it's often called, onto which visuals can be placed. To access the canvas background, ensure that you have no visuals selected, and then click on the Format pane. Here, if I click on the canvas background, I'll then select a colour. Here I'll select blue. And as you can see, when I select this colour, nothing happens. And this is because the default transparency is set to 100%. So if I move the slider down to 0%, the blue appears and the canvas area is then more visible. So as a tip, if you ever select a colour and wonder why the canvas is not updating, this is likely why. For the canvas background, you can also select an image. And note that all your slicers, charts, tables, any visuals should be placed on the canvas area. The canvas is a fixed size area and it's determined by your page size settings. For example, if I click on the canvas settings in the Format pane and change the type to 4:3, then you can see that the canvas has resized. I'll revert it back to the default 16:9. Now let's shift our focus to the second area, the wallpaper. The wallpaper is the area which sits behind the canvas, so think of it as the ultimate background layer. So if I go to a blank page, anything within the screen area is wallpaper. And to demonstrate this, in the Format pane, in Wallpaper, and if I choose a colour such as orange, you will see that it is applied to the whole screen. Note that this time the default transparency is 0%, and if you would like to increase the transparency, you can move the slider. Note that the canvas is still there on top of the wallpaper, but you can't see it. As remember, on a new page, its default is 100% transparency. So if I now go to the canvas background section and add again the blue colour and reduce the transparency down to 0, you can now see the canvas sat on top of the wallpaper and it blocks the view of the wallpaper. The primary purpose of the wallpaper is to fill the remaining screen real estate when your report page doesn't fully utilise the user's monitor. Because its visibility is entirely dependent on the user's screen size and window size, the amount of wallpaper which is seen differs from user to user. And because of this, it means that you cannot place any report visuals in the wallpaper area. Watch as I resize the window. You can see that the central blue area stays in proportion, but the orange area moves as required to fill the screen. Understanding the interaction between the canvas background areas and the wallpaper is dependent upon the canvas background transparency setting. By default, a new report's canvas background is 100% transparent, and when you set the canvas to be fully transparent, the wallpaper area, which is always the furthest back element, becomes visible across the entire screen. If you set the canvas background transparency to 0%, the canvas becomes fully opaque, completely blocking the wallpaper layer. This is why you must manipulate both settings to achieve a clean custom background design. It's also why colours blend. As we reduce the blue canvas transparency, the underlying orange wallpaper starts to show through, with the resulting blend creating this purple hue. So why does the distinction between the canvas background and the wallpaper matter for your end users? Let's review 3 key impacts. First, consistency on different screen resolutions. A user viewing your report on a large, high-resolution monitor will see a significant amount of the wallpaper area surrounding your canvas. If your wallpaper is left as the default colour, your report can look unfinished or poorly framed. Second, images. There is the ability to upload an image as a background. If you use a shape or a custom image as a background, you should apply this to the canvas background, not to the wallpaper. If you upload a background image to the wallpaper setting and then when your end user views the report on a large or differently sized screen, that image will be scaled to fit the entire window, which may result in the distortion of the design. Third, export to PDF. The export to PDF feature does not include the wallpaper, so if you have set it to a dark colour and have the canvas transparent with white text, on conversion to PDF, the white text may be difficult or impossible to read. Finally, let's look at theme overrides. When you apply page level formatting through the Format pane, these settings always override the default settings established by your theme. This is why our current page does not update when a new theme is applied. To summarise, the canvas is the area that houses your visuals and the wallpaper is the outermost frame. Use the canvas settings to style the area immediately behind your visuals and use the wallpaper to control the border area and provide a cohesive backdrop for the entire viewing experience. All new reports have the following default settings. The canvas or report page is set to white and its transparency is set to 100%. The wallpaper is set to white and its transparency is set to 0%. If this breakdown of the Power BI canvas background and wallpaper area was helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.